All right, so we're going to be reacting to Verstappen.exe from Rick's F1 Addiction. It had a lot of views, so it looked like at least something that was somewhat safe, if not mildly controversial to watch. So let's see. Let's get into this one.
Formula One is a sport filled with house. How did Charles Leclerc get wins in
I thought you said filled with house, and I was like, what? House what?
Despite having all the odds against him? How did Nico Rosberg beat two champions in equal machinery? And especially, how does Max Verstappen do what he does?
Verstappen, okay.
Max Verstappen dominates the Bahrain Grand Prix. Max Verstappen wins. Max Verstappen wins.
Max Verstappen, you are a four-time world champion. That is a phenomenal achievement.
You know what that is?
Okay.
Simply lovely.
Now I know I've spoken about Max more times than F1 team principals have flown to Epstein's Island, but the man just keeps cooking after every video I make. Max is the embodiment of an all-you-can-eat buffet. He just keeps serving. But I'm done.
Heck yeah, we love a queen that serves.
Starting driver videos with pure glaze. It's clear that Verstappen is among the goats of motorsports. We all know that, and if you disagree, you get your f***ing hands off me.
I love the way he edits, not gonna
So
lie.
I'm gonna switch things up this time and start this video
The Super Mario sound effects.
with the biggest criticisms towards Mr. Sid. See, people love criticizing Max for many different things.
Yeah, Twitter will
Temperament,
Twitter.
aggression, not caring enough.
I don't care. How about that?
Though I will say temper is definitely Max's weakness. He makes questionable decisions when he's boiling hot.
Whenever anything is not going his way, he lashes out with unnecessary anger and borderline violence.
So technically,
Borderline
George correct
violence is
here, but
crazy.
it's the right message, wrong messenger. Also, temper can be Max's biggest strength at the same time. So these points
I
are
don't know,
easy to rebut.
because like it kind of
First
shows
off,
that you
Max
don't have the
was
maturity to
busted
make
up by his
decisions
dad.
based off
You
of
can't
logic.
just race your trauma away. There's a reason people who say I miss her before driving end up kissing a tree. Second off, at least be thankful Max is redirecting his frustrations to other cars and not his daughters. But the biggest complaint people have with Verstappen is how he makes F1 boring. Max being boring was the
that's
biggest
crazy.
issue people had with him since 2022. But in reality,
And why do they
even
talk about
during
him
his
so much?
domination, Verstappen is actually one of the main reasons why F1 is so entertaining. Like, let's take a
Okay,
look at
yeah,
F1
that just contradicts
if Max
itself.
never existed. 2016, no Red Bull win in Spain, no seat swaps, and Mercedes dominates completely. 2018, the crash between Daniel and Max would never happen, or the beef with Ocon, which is good for them, but beyond boring. 2019, Max was the only driver trying to chase down Mercedes. 2021, no
He was zooming.
championship fight whatsoever.
It's a late lunch by Verstappen.
However, Max and Lewis fans would be getting along. But screw
I guess
that,
that's fair.
because that's boring too. 2022. Okay, you know what? We can give that to Charles. I think
Okay,
he's
that's
been
fair.
through enough. 2023.
That's fair.
Max crushed Perez and had the best year ever. Anyone who hates on that just doesn't like the winner if it's not their favorite driver. 2024 would have been
That statement could be said for many situations.
completely
It also would never be their driver's fault for anything. It's always someone else.
dominated by McLaren, and 2025 would have been McLaren domination again. But thanks to Max Verstappen existing in our universe, the stakes in 2025 were so much higher because Lando and Oscar have to face a lion with daddy issues. And how
Well, that's the thing though, is always, yeah, because like that's the issue is like, especially in that last video, like there was one accident in particular that it was unclear of whether or not it was intentional or not. And all anyone could do in the comments was like argue about how because it involved their favorite driver, that it wasn't intentional because he just wouldn't do that. Like, people don't do that. And I think one person made the comment, and like, if you made these comments, I'm watching you. No, but one person made the comment in particular of like, I don't think people would make these kind of decisions and risk their lives for something like blah, blah, blah. It's like basically because their life is at stake too, they wouldn't take the risk of like causing something to intentionally happen that could also risk their own lives. And I'm like, then you obviously haven't been watching competitive sports very long. Because like, or anything really. I mean, it's like the same people. It's like, okay, by that logic, then people wouldn't go diving with sharks because like you know, they could risk their lives by doing it. It's just like, but for competitive sports in general, like, there's some sort, like, I'm sure there's a psychological explanation for it, but like, competitiveness can like ruin you, and it can make you make a lot of like decisions you wouldn't normally make unless you were in a high pressure, high intensity, high stakes situation. And then everything kind of goes out the window for some people, especially like younger drivers too. Like, it's just one of those things of like, you can't definitively say like, oh, I know him, he wouldn't do that, unless you actually know that person, or like you were actually there, or you actually saw it happen. Intent is almost impossible to prove. Gotta chase that win at all costs. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, is like, some people get a little bit like, their minds become altered by everything that's going on. That's why, like, you know, there's such a drive for mental health in the world today, is because like, your mental health affects a lot. And if you've got something going on at home or in your work that is like really weighing down on your mind, and like this win could change your life, then like you might be willing to make some risk. And I feel like people need to understand that about competitive sports.
F1 so fun to watch is through qualifying. Do you know how many surprise quali performances?
Oh, but like, to the commenters that were like saying that I said it was intentional, for the record, I would like to state that like, I'm saying that you don't know if it's intentional or not, because intent is so hard to prove. It genuinely is. And you can't definitively say it wasn't intentional when like the investigation mostly just determines that like intent wasn't found. That doesn't mean that intent wasn't there. And you'll never know unless you are that person that was in the driver's seat. Like, it is impossible to know unless you are that person, because even people that are close to him, he might have just lied and been like, yeah, it was totally an accident. Tee. Like, that's the thing, is like, that's my stance, is like, you don't know if it was intentional or not. You like to think you do, but you don't.
This guy has pulled off, more than I could count even with extra fingers. In Monaco 2023, Max was 2/10 down on Fernando Alonso in the first two sectors, but then he made it all up in the final one, taking pole by milliseconds. To be fair, I kinda get the frustration. When Max took pole from Fernando by a toothpick, I started punching air.
Dude, that is crazy to watch though, because like, that's the thing, is like, the way that people react after like something like that happened shows you that you are also not mentally capable enough to fight off the urge to do something that might risk you harm or possibly a fatality. Like, the people that punch walls, do you think their intent is to like, oh, I'm gonna punch this wall, I know it's gonna hurt, but it's okay. They just do it without thinking.
But I can't
That's
lie,
how it happens.
That's pretty impressive. And don't get me started on 2025. Despite McLaren having the faster car, Max got pole in Japan, Miami, Silverstone, Saudi Arabia, where he stole it by half a toothpick. Then in Monza, he had provisional pole. However, Norris takes it away, but just 2 seconds later, Max steals it back again. If pole position was
that's
a person,
honestly like intense.
Max Verstappen's bitch. Then back.
Okay, but like, here's the thing though, like, if people are gonna say it makes F1 boring, like, I don't think that's boring. Watching like someone like have to really try to hold first place and to fight off Max is actually sounds pretty interesting. Last time I punched a wall, it was a team.
Came along where almost every single driver crashed. Lando didn't, but he still bottled Norris, so he got out-qualified by a Williams. While Max proceeds to set pole like he's about to lose custody of his children. Personal take, 2022 to 2025's championships deserves to be given to Max. You know damn well if he was in the McLaren, the only thing that could stop him is Zach Brown sitting on the car feeding Lando fries like the professional boyfriend, boss, that he is. Oh, and in Austin, after McLaren causes a civil war between their fans, Max gets pole again like his family's on the line. And I have to mention, even if things don't go his way and Max loses championships in the near or far future, which I know will bring smooth brains to call him washed, the fact is we still owe him for making F1 exciting. The thing about Max is he can lose really badly and still make that entertaining.
Who's locking up? Who's going deep?
Like in Mexico 2025, in the middle of a championship fight, Max qualifies 5th. But then he still sends it into turn 1,
Dang!
goes lawn mowing, but still somehow ends up almost getting 2nd if it
What?
wasn't for the spirit of Michael Massey possessing the steward's room. Now, the question people are
He's like the level 10 dev time trial in PC.
always asking is, how is Max so good? Well, I've said this before, racing is in his blood, sweat, and sperm. So Max dives into every racing category.
I like to try different kind of disciplines as well, just to test your skills in a different way.
And one of his favorites, iRacing, a sim racing game that he's on 24/7. Seriously. As an example, let me give you Max Verstappen's schedule during Saudi Arabia 2024. Sim race until 4 a.m. before qualifying, get pole position,
Dang.
go back to sim racing after 2 hours, and win both the F1 and sim race the very next day. And this addiction to sim racing is what makes Max a far better driver than everyone else.
I don't know if I can't personally say far better, but like that's the thing is like it's the same with like the medical field when me dealing with doctors. I want someone who's going to look back on like what we discussed and look at where like things could be improved, or like look at my situation and be like, okay, I know this is your situation. I know other doctors have like taken a look at it, but like let's take a different approach. That's why second opinions exist. And it's like such a big thing when you're working on like skills and talents, and F1 is a skill and a talent. And it's like such a huge thing when you're working on things that involve skill and talent, is that you have the ability to look back on something and reflect and be like, all right, where did I mess up? Where can I improve? What can I change? What can I do differently? Whereas like a lot of these F1 drivers, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because what works, works. But a lot of these F1 drivers are really stuck in their ways. Whereas like he's looking for like different approaches, different disciplines, different techniques. And like that's actually really big. However, if you're constantly chasing that, that can also be an issue, because then you don't have any consistency, which is, you know, if Max is the right one that I'm thinking about, he's got time to put into his consistency, because he's still like in the somewhat like beginning to middle of his career. He's not about to retire, is what I'm saying. He's got time to figure out where he wants to be in this situation. Whereas like a lot of the other drivers have been racing for like way longer than him. And so it's like he's trying to figure out like how to do things, but like then the other drivers are kind of making it a little bit easier to deal with them, because if they never change their ways, they never do anything differently, they never change, they never reflect, they never fix their issues, then it's going to be constantly easier and easier for people to like basically leave them in the dust. It's kind of like similar to fighting a video game boss. The video game boss is predictable. They've got animations, they've got movesets, they've got sound cues. And like if you can memorize everything 100%, you can do a no-hit run on it. And I think that's the thing, is just like if you're constantly the same, you're easier to beat in the future, because all someone has to do is memorize you.
Also dabbles into drifting
and your so-called moveset, like
rallying, MotoGP, endurance racing. But another motorsport Max
again though, I'm not saying anybody is doing it at a detriment, because I haven't watched enough of these drivers to make that call. I'm just saying, in parallels to the other things in life, it can cause issues to be stagnant.
which made
I'm not saying these drivers are stagnant, but it can cause issues if you are.
That uses vehicles based on production cars, and Max made his debut testing a Ferrari 296
just
under
popping
the name
out.
Franz Hermann to avoid media attention. As you can see, it has worked wonderfully. But with that being said,
I love the
here's
stash.
my fully updated Verstappen nickname list. Franz Hermann, Mad Max, The Flying Dutchman, Max Verstappen, my personal favorite, Sid, Max Verstappen,
Also, I read
gas
that.
station attendee.
He's also
But
pretty
back to
talented, that's fair.
GT3, after testing under Franz Hermann and unofficially breaking the lap record in May, Max finally competes in September, where in qualifying he had a near miss and had to overtake on the grass, but still qualifies third. Then in the race he gets
That
the
is,
lead
like, crazy.
immediately, builds a gap, hands that to his teammate, and wins his debut GT3 race at the Nürburgring
Nice.
with a 25-second gap. He caught everyone with their pants down. And in In second place was Jan Mardenbro, a sim racer that the Gran Turismo movie was based on. So there's two big name sim racers on the podium.
I thought you said
Look
bro.
who's
I was like,
laughing now,
Jan bro.
mainstream media. Video games cause violence? False. Forcing your son to be an F1 world champion does. Get it right. And another thing I like about Max that I was never able to cover in my other videos is how relatable
Okay, that's a pretty good one.
he really is. When Max isn't nutting all over his sim racing setup, he plays other games.
Damn.
Minecraft.
Oh, cute.
FIFA. More FIFA.
I keep mishearing him. I swear he said FIFA.
Call of Duty, where he rages a lot.
Oh, Max!
And he watches other racing categories.
Honestly, that's not that bad of a race, to be honest.
Also, back to sim racing. In a 2024 mental health charity race, Max put stickers all over his car, and it was pure art. Like, allow me to analyze this real quick.
Okay.
On the left, he put George Russell as Woody, a 10-second penalty, Sid the Sloth, Minecraft, him using a diamond helmet and a pickaxe with a speech bubble saying, "My pickaxe is fucked," and a photo that I think is his Miami 2023 pose. Then on the
Wait, I love this guy so much. He's got a sense of humor.
hood, he put a photo of Lando bottling his championship in Brazil, Minecraft TNTs, a McLaren logo, and just shit posts everywhere. And now we have the rear wing, which apparently has a long text that I think it's talking about the McLaren MCL38. Pause if you need to. And in the bottom of the wing, it says
It's like
flash.
It's like the missile is where it isn't in TTS form on the back of his car.
If you're horny. But anyway, if it wasn't clear from the start, Max is just as acoustic as all of us. So thank you, Max, for making me look like a normal person. And with that being said, my point is, this sloth isn't an industry plant that's trying to appeal to everyone. Max is authentic, and that's why he's so popular. Like in Monza 2025, McLaren swapped positions because Lando had a slow stop.
You can't park there, mate.
Which I think is just the lamest shit ever. McLaren just loves emotionally manipulating their drivers, and this makes the races boring. But then you have Max just laughing at it.
Norris and Piastri have swapped places, Max.
Just because he had a slow start?
It's not our business, but I guess it keeps it fair between the drivers in terms of championship.
He was based the entire time.
McLaren doesn't deserve shit. And allow me to go on a little rant here. Because of McLaren, I'd rather 2025 be dominated by Verstappen. McLaren has been too busy trying not to hurt their drivers' feelings, even when I know that they know letting their drivers race is the better option. But no, they want to micromanage every move Lando and Oscar make, like parents watching their child walk for the first time.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Hey, he's gone. Oh, he's gone.
And I'm looking at you, Zach. Lando is in his mid-20s. He doesn't need your maternal instincts.
Okay, he's the right one I was thinking about.
Every time Oscar would fight Lando, McLaren would say,
That's where people like are laughing in the comments about him maturing, and I'm like, dude, he's like in his early 20s. Give him a break. He's still like. It's a very similar thing to where we see like influencers and content creators like acting a fool until they're like close to 30. Like they're just being them, like just let him live, man. He's not dropping slurs that we're aware of. He's not like dropping slurs and like knocking someone down and teabagging them. Like just give him some room to breathe for a bit. Like maturing 5% still means that you matured. Maturing 0.5% still means you matured. It's just not as much as you would think. So like give him some time.
Back from the pit wall, the maneuver in turn 4 with the front lockup was too marginal. We can't do that again.
and tell them to swap positions through emotional blackmail.
The way to win a championship is not by yourself, it's with the team. You're going to need Oscar.
McLaren give the call to Oscar Piastri to prioritise the highest McLaren driver. Team order issued. Lando Norris given back the position.
Do you think McLaren are favouring Lando over Oscar? And if so, does that help you?
I
Absolutely.
Like, it even got to a point where in Singapore
The neck
2025,
scratch of
Oscar
nervousness.
turned off Zach's radio.
Oscar, back-to-back champions. Good race, tough race. Thank you for...
Valid crash out. Also, speaking about McLaren, since a lot of you have been wondering why it's taken a hot minute for me to upload, it's because I've been receiving threats from McLaren fans. But instead of running to a different continent, like a certain someone, I'm gonna read it out. Like, here's one from Gerard W., a Lando fan telling me to end up like Kirk because I'm biased towards Oscar. I think he forgot the part where I said Lando is capable of being a champion as much as Oscar, as long as they don't turn into water bottles. And here's another.
And that's the thing is, like, people get so defensive about this stuff, but it's like, it's a sport. It can be analyzed, and like your favorite player, your favorite racer, your favorite whatever has flaws. But no, like, no one is really saying you're objectively wrong for liking someone or favoring someone. It's just like, you also have to understand when someone has potential to improve and when someone has hit like their limits too. And like, I don't know, man, this ain't it. Cause like so far this guy hasn't really like, I don't think he's really insulted any of the other drivers so far. Like actually insulted them, you know?
Another one from Will,
like, I feel like insulting to the point of like, there's friendly fire where it's like, oh, like your driver sucks, whatever. But like, he's not saying that none of these drivers have potential or none of these drivers are ever going to amount to anything or like none of these drivers can do X, Y, Z. It's just mostly like friendly fire stuff that he's doing.
Oscar fan who wrote an entire manifesto because I apparently cursed Oscar with a video.
Dang, that's crazy. You got some power.
Not a single prediction was made in this video.
Again, it can never be the driver at fault. It is always everyone else. It can never be your favorite driver.
But fine, I'll do you a favor too, Will, and for the Verstappen fans watching this, I'm gonna predict that these 4 drivers are going to have the worst careers over the next 10 years. So when a reverse jinx happens, everyone's happy. But if I end up right, you were responsible for this, Will. Ladies
Dang. Get effed, Will.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man you want to get. I want to start seeing some hashtag this is all Will's fault. But back to Max, let's not forget he's doing all this in Red Bull, a team no one wants to join. And if they do, it's because their family's being held hostage. Now, Max has had multiple crash outs all because of this team in
So then his family, like, depending on it, does matter from earlier. So see, you answered your own question.
2025, Silverstone, Spain, even V-Carb looks like the healthier team. So given that, no one wants to touch a Red Bull contract, and that's a big issue for them. But thankfully, I'm here with a solution. Dear Red Bull shareholders, I present to you my Red Bull recruitment ad. Roll it. Red Bull, a place where dreams stay as dreams, ambitions stay as ambitions, but at least you'll be ambitious for your whole life, and a place where you can experience the sheer thrill of running P17 behind a Haas or totaling your car. But in Red Bull, we won't fire you for being a creep or a toxic mess. You will only get fired for underperforming. So you want to diddle as many coworkers without any repercussions, or get diddled by coworkers? Well, Red Bull is your home. So sign that contract now, as it's time for you to play your part in
I am home. Damn, you missed it, homie.
completing Max Verstappen's shadow.
Red
Now,
Bull
aside
gives you
from that beautiful ad, the more I look at F1 people, I start to realize they're either weirdos, losers, or nepo babies. Some are even all three. So I made a little
Wait, the drivers or the fans? Oh, the drivers. Okay.
the F1
I was like, because the first two apply, the fans 100%. But I don't think you can be a Nepo fan.
Diddler tier list, just to show how F1 is practically filled with disgusting creatures. First, we have Christian Horner. The surprising part is that he's actually at the bottom of this list. Then Nikita Mazepin for harassing his friend. And then we have Johnny Herbert, a former F1 driver, FIA steward, and Sky Sports reporter who was in various driver videos, and is also the same guy who sexually harassed a woman on live television.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Kill that boy!
Bro, what?
Kill that boy! Kill that boy! Kill him!
Which is why I've never stopped calling him Herbert the Pervert. And
That's unfortunate.
On top of this list are Flavio Briatore, Lawrence Stroll, and Bernie Ecclestone.
Wow, notice how it's a bunch of old A mother effers. Crazy.
Who are apparently in the Epstein list. Now,
damn.
It's only alleged whether these three have been on the island, but if they were, I'd assume Lawrence did the worst shit imaginable and then had to explain to his family how he was just there for a swim.
Jeffrey Epstein? Yeah, but before you judge me, know this. Yes, I was on the sex island, but only for the snorkeling. I didn't know anything about the kid stuff.
No, look, now Flavio
People putting anything on a
definitely diddled the most, while Bernie spent all day with Stephen Hawking. Won't be
all billionaires being creeps. That never happened.
the first time I've seen two vegetables rotting together. Now,
okay, this guy is pretty good.
call me harsh all you want, but remember which island
I think you're freaking funny, dude. I don't care if the F1 fans tear me up in the comments for thinking this stuff is funny, but it's pretty funny.
we're on. And regardless, Bernie and Hawking are going to hell. Cause heaven has a stairway.
No! I can't. Oh god. Why did that guy in B tier look like that one guy with the large head? Oh god. Oh man.
But back to Verstappen, he's one of the good ones, and he can also multitask.
I mean,
remember,
he is
he's
for
winning
now.
F1 while being a father of 2 children, dealing with team internal politics, media days, being a
The father of 2 children never stopped anyone from being an offender.
husband, committing to his sim racing team, and other
Yeah, that's fair. He plays sim racing way too much to touch anybody.
sports. So all this brings the final question. What's the one thing Verstappen can't do?
When he stops playing sim racing, that's when we need to start asking questions.
I mean, apart from the obvious, have a good childhood to look back on.
Like, who did you meet and how old is she?
Type without being a T-Rex, not choking in Call of Duty.
Max? What? You let him get up! Mate! No!
Honestly, it's tough. I think to complain about Max, you have to nitpick so hard. And that's already a sign he's super likable. Maybe he'll end up screaming a slur on stream by accident, who knows? But if I really had to think of something, I suppose the one thing Max Verstappen can't do is be as disappointing as McLaren.
Damn. Damn. Dang. Okay, I'm really glad I watched this because I like his editing and his sense of humor is pretty good. Oh, but I thought this would be a really great one to go after the last F1 we did because since a lot of the conversation ended up around like Matt's being more mature or not, then I figured this was a good one to follow up with. Oh, that was pretty good. 10 out of 10 editing. I like his stuff, honestly. Really, really pretty good. As far as Max, I feel like this video was mostly more for just entertainment than anything. So there's not really much of an opinion I can give here, except this was a pretty good video, honestly.